Whoop whoop, family. We're talking about the Great Malenko, The Gathering, Shaggy and Violent J. That's right, my faithful litter of listeners. Because if you think, what the fuck, I can't read my own handwriting. We're talking about Insane Clown Posse. It's the Wacky Circus Gang.
Pal, you're good with words. You know that, man?
I think the gym is dumb.
Did Rachel walk in the room? Of course I've eaten a Baconator.
Man, if you ain't doing CrossFit, you can get crossbuff.
You're right. A long burger's not the worst idea I've ever heard.
That's your sitcom right there as a Mr. Fix-It-All who just can't fix his heart.
We will not be defending Atlantic City.
No accounting for taste. If it's something that somebody loves, let's try and celebrate it instead of shitting on it. You've been sitting on that for the whole first episode. That was some timing, Mike.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, now.
Poot, poot, whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Buddy.
ICP,
We're talking about ICP.
People have been asking about it.
Yeah. Now we're going to give... This is a special episode as you and I have both had interactions with...
I met the tall one.
The tall... If you only met one of them, I don't know which one is the tall one.
There's a skinny one and a plumper one, right?
Yeah. Which one did you meet?
The skinny one.
I met the skinny one, too. I met Shaggy.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell me about your Shaggy meetup.
Shaggy Too Dope.
By the way, this is no accounting for taste. We should introduce the podcast.
Sorry, we're so excited about it.
Yeah. We're excited. We are. I'm very giddy about it.
It was after a show. It was after a show in Detroit when I was opening up for Bert and Sal Vulcano and Nate Bargatze. We're doing a little theater run a few years back. And this guy was just backstage. Tall dude, like, tatted up neck and everything.
Yeah.
And he was like watching from the backstage, and then went over and met him, and it was Shaggy, but that whatever his name,
Shaggy Too Dope.
Yeah, but he was interested. He was introduced with his regular name.
Okay.
He was not in makeup. He was with his wife, and he was just an absolute sweet man. And I just remember Bert talking about how excited he was that like venues that have showers.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, man, that is the first thing I do when I walk off stage. He's like, we brought it on ourselves, but people throw all kinds of shit at us. And we encourage it. So I'm not saying that, but off stage into a shower. I'm just covered in so many drinks and who knows what else. He's like, right into a shower. And then his wife was real sweet. I think it was his wife, but she's like, you should come do the gathering. It's fun. It's just fun. And she was just like a sweet lady. They were just a nice couple that were enjoying the show.
Yeah, just happened to be like local celebrities.
And it kind of made me
rethink it a little bit.
I'd always looked at the man, like I would look at like I would ironically look into that stuff, like into like the gathering and everything. Because at first you're like, oh, look,
it's the easy way to come into that
low hanging fruit.
Yeah,
and okay, let me watch these Gathering of the Juggalo videos, and it was real easy to be like, look how. And of course, it's like Vice magazine. Like, man, Vice just got bit in the. I think they're bankrupt now, but like, how much snark did you think you could capitalize on? Vice News was wild.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're going to try and catch missiles in Iraq, whatever. But for the longest time, it was this kind of cooler than you.
Yeah, we all wear black. Yeah,
and like, oh, I'm
digital tat, like numbers.
I'm researching the Gathering of the Juggalos, and it was, it appeared objective, but it was like, look at these people, look what they're doing, and it looked kind of like trashy, and everybody's in the mud, and it's.
Yeah, so how is it different than any other music festival?
It's exactly what I started watching that stuff, and I was like, wait a minute. Like, I had that realization, like, oh, this whole family thing, it's like, it's inclusivity.
Yeah.
Now, who's I'm the one going, oh, look how it goes. Like, they're like, all right, you're a marginalized individual. You feel weird around your family or friends. Or are you weird because you're like, whoop, whoop, hatchet throwers, I'm a clown. Either way, I was doing the punk rock shit. It was the same thing.
Yeah.
People didn't like the music. I had stupid colored hair. So why am I making fun of this subculture when
Just 'cause you don't like the music.
Yeah. When I so desperately want to be part of this other subculture, and I was doing like just getting drunk and like peeing down stairwells and shit. Like, I was doing the same thing, you know. So I would watch those and I'm like, this is actually a pretty inclusive thing. Might not be my thing, and comedians have done it. I know Joe DeRosa did it. He was one of the first guys I remember talking about it.
What did Joe say?
Joe did it years ago.
Okay.
And he's like, you don't know what he's like, I got picked up just in a windowless van and driven into the woods. It's before like even Vice was talking about. He's like, and you just get out and now there's all these like white kids with dreads and clown makeup yelling, family, family. and it's just like, yeah, it's like a horror movie.
I fucking love this.
But then I don't remember him being negative about it. Like, it was a crazy experience. And then Bobcat Goldthwait has a story about doing it. And he went, it was years ago that he went to do it. And he's like, yeah, he's like, there's some, you know, guy at a golf cart driving him to the gig that's called like, I don't know, Piss Party the Clown or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not high class, but then
No, I don't expect it to be though.
Bobcat's story is just he's like this guy said, yeah, well, you know, people look down on it, but it really is inclusive and it's actually from a place of acceptance and love. That he's like at that moment, so he just goes, "Hey, Piss Party," and he just gets hit in the head with a beer can. And I think Hannibal did it early on. And I remember reading articles because they would do it in a town in Illinois originally, in like this park or something.
Yeah, well, they move it. They've had to move it a lot.
They had to move it.
The Gathering. Yeah,
because where they would do it, there was like 2 cops for this whole area, and like,
yeah. But also like they've had like, not that this is on them, but like, you know, like festival grounds are always a mess after anyone does anything. No, it doesn't matter what event it is. You spend a week cleaning it up.
Yeah.
Too.
Listen. Yeah. Native headdress white girls are trashing Coachella. All right. That happens with that many people. But I remember reading one quote when they're asking the police, like, well, there's just a spot called the Drug Bridge where you go to buy any drugs you want. You're going to just let that happen? Police were like, well, there's 4 of us and there's 27,000 of them. So what do you think is going to happen if the 4 of us go in there and say, all right, we're going to arrest everybody
who's buying drugs?
Yeah. So like we kind of just let it happen.
Okay. My experience, I was in Detroit doing House of Comedy. Far less people in attendance than were at your show. And they were like, I got to reach out from some guy. I can't remember what his name was, but he was like, hey, I'm a comic here in town. I do a podcast with Shaggy. Do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah. They had somebody scoop me up. The kid who scooped me up couldn't have been nicer. I can't remember his name, but he's a young comic, and he scooped me up and drove me out. He was like producing the podcast, and we were driving up to the house, and it's a nice part of town, but a little away from where I was. And then I just see, like, as soon as we pull up, there was just the biggest like F-350, and the tailgate is like a giant, like, it was just wild shit. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's like, well, this is the house.
Got some airbrush work done.
And then I come in and he goes, what's up, man? I'm Shaggy. Nice to meet you. And it could not have been nicer.
Made up?
Yeah, makeup on. But I think it's because I don't think he wears it around the house. If somebody who'd like, because I was a guest, I think is what it was. Like in the house. Like, like I think that's why it was on, because he was working, not because I don't think he
Did they tape the pot? Was it audio only?
No, video. It's out there.
Yeah, video.
Yeah.
Makeup.
He just
audio only.
Yeah, he was awesome though. He was like super nice, and he was like, "You're asking me better questions than any press person has ever asked." Like, and I was like, "What was it like starting here at that time?" He goes, "Well, in Detroit, nobody was moving. You had a real sense of history." In the sense of Detroit hip hop, it was really very interesting. Like, people
from Detroit have a lot of pride about Detroit because nowhere else.
He called it. I was like, "You're from here?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm from Detroit." Like he said, "Yeah." And I'm yeah. And I was like, asking a question, and then also it got pretty graphic and disgusting at parts, and I was trying to be like, like he was just like, he's like, when you bust in a netting, and I'm like, I don't know what that is, and it means like a woman's vagina in their weird slang, I guess.
They got a lot of language.
Yeah, they do have like some kind of like own slang.
What was his house like?
It was a big. I think this might have just been a house he owned and not his own, like his primary residence. But it was like a big fucking house out in the suburby kind of
Real
area.
estate baron, Shaggy Two Dope.
Yeah. But it was just like a nice big house. Like it looked it looked very regular outside. Like there was some like video games and stuff in it. Like, but it didn't look like a crazy. Like,
but like
I didn't open the doors and like a spinning clown head came down, or like I didn't like turn on the faucet and Fago came out or anything.
Yeah, it wasn't like a tattooed pit bull or something.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Yeah, it didn't look like the craziest thing of cribs or whatever, but it was very normal. He was very normal.
Yeah.
Definitely like, and he was very nice. I have his number. I actually should have called him for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he was definitely like, I was like, oh man, I wouldn't say that. That's a little gross or whatever, like, but that being said,
rough around the edges.
yeah, but he was also like, I have no, but he's also putting on a show and he's got this person, he paints his face and he's doing a personality to some degree. Yeah.
Why that goes back to like why people, why like hipster dipshits will like look at why do young men join gangs in the city? And it's like, well, they're marginalized, they don't have father figures, and they could justify that, but like they'll look down on juggalos when it's they're just providing the same thing. They're providing a sense of community for
Absolutely.
kids that have like shitty home lives, and they dress a little.
They found something to
goofier.
identify with. And they found an art in a community, like, and this is like there's a lot of positivity in this place. So like,
and it does keep like it's still like, oh, that's a juggalo. Like you see somebody with colored hair or something, like, oh, what is it, music or whatever, but you see the Hatchet Man, you're like, oh, it's a juggalo, and not everybody wants to identify as a juggalo, which makes it probably even more attractive for the people that are like, oh, I know what you're about.
Yeah. There's that thing of like
a band T-shirt doesn't mean it. A Metallica T-shirt doesn't mean like, oh, you're a metalhead. It's like you bought that shirt.
It's a fashion
Target.
show now.
Yeah.
And there's something to be said about like the smaller a group is, the louder they have to be in some ways to survive in an ideological sense.
Yeah.
So good on the Juggies. We're going to be right back after this break because we got to do. Sadly, this is going to be a very rich topic, but we're going to have to move on.
It might be a two-parter.
It might be a two-parter. Yeah, a two-farter. Anyway, nothing.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back. Let's get into the good and the bad. We're back.
Let's get in it.
Well, let's see what the good and the bad is. Hey, hold on.
We saw a juggalo at the pizza place last night. Did you
What?
notice the guy in the wheelchair that kept arguing with the pizza place proprietor? At, who had all the suits of the deck of cards on his sideburn tattoo? Had a big old Hatchet Man on his head.
Did he?
Yeah, I saw or something. There's sound on his emblem, something.
Okay, here we go. Insane Clown Posse fans, why are they misunderstood? Are known for their scared clown costumes and face paint, but the Juggalos say they're just a family that's misunderstood. Jesus, they are wild looking though.
Yeah, those videos, it is a lot of like, oh, this is a 600-pound stripper, and this is like it is the most body positive group.
It sure seems
that
to
I've
be.
Seen.
God, dude. For the last decade, sorry, man.
You may.
Let's start here. But decades into the existence of the Insane Clown Posse fandom, it remains largely misunderstood by mainstream society. The community was named by the FBI as a non-traditional gang in its 2011 national gang thread. So
I like that swing and a miss by the FBI.
no shit, like fuck off, man. And they get
Proud
their name.
Boys. I don't know. They're just doing. They just love their country. The ICP gang.
Juggalos say their real culture is one that seeks to upend class hierarchies while building a community founded upon familial bonds.
That is a succinct and accurate way that I've seen it happening.
Yeah,
That's fucking yeah. I wonder if that definition came from within the Juggalo community.
I think it does. Would you like to hear some other definitions from the Juggalo community?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Let's have a little guessing game here. What do you say, Mike?
I like it.
All right. The first one I said, I said cherry pie, and then it said sea cotton candy.
Oh,
Oh gosh.
What? We're sticking up for him.
We're sticking up for him. This is the good and the bad, though.
All right.
All right.
I don't even want to guess.
I think you know.
Yeah.
What do you think cherry pie is, Mike?
I mean, how dirty are we willing to get to go?
Yeah, go for
This
it.
is an episode about
You're a guest producer. You're fine.
A bloody snatch.
Yeah.
A bloody snatch is when you punch someone and take their chain, actually. It says it right here. It is, it says a cherry pie, it says see cotton candy. Cotton candy is a Nedden, a pussy, a vagina, a cunt. Is what it was just
okay.
so you get it right already. Okay. What is the echo side, Kyle?
The echo side?
Yeah. Playing a little game here, folks.
I don't even know where to start. Is it the vagina?
No. No. Mike, you got an idea?
I think it's like when you're tripping, like you're on mushrooms or acid, when you're on.
It just says a fate worse than hell. I love this.
This is how language happens, though.
Yeah, no.
As a group creating, like, yeah, I'm gonna laugh at some of it. Like, it is also laughable. Let's not take that away.
No, it's not. It's like, yeah, no, it's not that it's not funny to laugh at some of this shit. Yeah. You know what a hound dog is? The definition is someone that swings from your nuts wanting autographs and pictures. It's amazing. Like they have their own. They've created a universe not unlike Tolkien, and like this kind of place of like they have this whole world with definitions and languages. It's very creative.
That's what subcultures do.
Yeah.
I was like looking at the video. I'm like, let me listen to some ICP because I was
Did
like,
you actually listen to? I don't know if I've ever listened to it.
man, some of it's real good. Like, it's crazy. But like, you're gonna sit there and listen to Blink 182 and they're doing poo poo pee pee songs.
Yeah. Like that's the thing, and they're the most expensive tour in the world right now. There's the Taylor Swift.
And everybody's in there, singing along with like, I'd shit my pants in the burrito restaurant.
And this guy can't like.
But when I first read about like everybody's making fun of the Magnets, what the fuck do they do? I'm like, that's hilarious.
God.
But then when I read that they at the end of their, I'm not well versed, but whichever album where they have a song and it's a good song where they just talk about how they tricked everybody and that they're Christian.
Oh,
I was like, and the song's good. I'm like, this rules.
That they get to like really pull the
You
wool
went to
over
your
everyone's
whole fan base and went, what do you think it's all about? We're with Jesus. I'm like, this is awesome.
It's very like
I don't know if I believe in it. If it's real, it's crazy.
It's like a Christopher Nolan. We got to figure this out. Kind of like
But that and like some of the songs, I'm like, yeah, I get. I'm like, musically, I'm enjoying them.
Sonically, it's
musically,
appealing.
they're like
good.
This is a party jam. This is a good party jam. I'm listening to this on my own. But just like when I listen to the Ghetto Boys for the first time, I have to stop and rewind the lyrics and be like, I wish I never heard that before.
Yeah.
I wish I never heard Bushwick Bill talk about getting his little asshole eaten out. But the same thing, like, it also stopped because of how hilarious it was. And I was like walking down the street, seeing people going throughout their normal day, and that's in my head. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I feel like I'm wearing like fetish clothing under my regular clothes listening to that.
Well, speaking of what Bushwick Bill did,
What did he do?
this is what do you think they would call that in this universe? It's not quite the same definition, but I'm kind of making a jump here.
A dwarf or ass eating, or ass eating a
There you
dwarf
go.
specifically.
Pink eye is
Donut hole.
They call it pink eye is a
Well-
condition you get for eating too much pussy.
I was going to say tar pit.
A tarp.
Tar pit.
Jesus Christ, these guys are
I
gross.
was going even deeper now that I'm in the
Yeah. Oh man.
Hostess minis. That's called eating the asshole of a little person.
God.
Donut. You're getting a donut.
I like. This is good. What do you think a zuggalo is with a Z?
Zuggalo.
Yeah. Because the definition, I don't know. I'm sure this is not an official website, but it says
What website is it, by the way?
members.tripod.com.
Okay. A zuggalo Juggalo with a Z. I want it to just be like a zebra juggalo. Like that one just, it's so straightforward.
I was going to say a zebra that paints one color, so you don't. It's like painted as a horse.
Yeah.
It's a big fan of Zug Island, like a juggalo, but for Zug. It's what the I can't know what it is because I'm not like I won't understand the nuance of the language.
But fucking, this is D&D. Like this is like somebody's like, well,
100%. There's
my dwarfen wizard has a power of 3 weaponries. Like it's the same thing, and they made it up out of like.
Oh, I found the official dictionary.
Well, Zug Island is an island in Michigan. That's a real place.
Really?
Yeah. So apparently, a Zuggalo is a juggalo who likes the actual Zug Island. Island in River Rouge, Michigan. There you go.
Zug Island. What happens on Zug Island? Stays on Zug Island.
Hey, a word ninja is a word used by juggalos to describe anyone or anything, like the way a John in Philly is like, like you're a John, that cup's a John, like I got to go do my John. A chore would be a John, like I got to go do my Johns, like I'd go do my chores. John is like a Philly slang.
That's what you do when you just don't know enough words.
It's pronounced Jawn. It's Jawn.
Okay.
Yeah, just wanted to be
Jawn.
clear.
Okay. All right. Well, we're here talking about the juggalos.
Well, I think
a different kind of white trash.
I think you're gonna get chased.
Hey, man,
you're gonna chase with a hatchet.
Don't go turning your nug bone at me. That's the neck region of your body.
I think ninja is also stemming off from a more unspeakable term for.
Oh, well,
like this
maybe.
ninja right here. Where my ninjas at? I think that's how I've heard it in the music.
Okay, maybe, yeah.
I know we don't have copyright passes on, but like everybody should go listen to the last song. I think it's on the Great Malenko. What do you got?
What is slim anus?
Slim anus?
Because I don't think you're gonna get it.
No, of course I'm not gonna get it.
It's the sworn enemy of ICP, Eminem. I don't. It's so juvenile. It's fun. Like I'm not.
Slim
I'm having a
anus?
great time of year. But I think they might be cool now.
Oh, because he's Slim Shady.
Yeah.
That's like because. All right, of all the people that came out of the Detroit scene, like you have Ted Nugent, I'm gonna leave out a lot, sure.
Yeah.
But of just you got the hip hop
This is
scene,
like
and
I think
don't
you're
know,
going in a good direction here.
I obviously don't know the depths of hip hop, and it happens to be the white people that I know.
Yeah.
It's Eminem, it's ICP, and it's Kid Rock, who, as we've discussed, straddles several genres unsuccessfully.
It's bad fusion.
Yeah, but how? Like, are ICP and Kid Rock cool? Because ICP is welcoming of everything, where Kid Rock is now isolated himself and been like, I'm against this and I'm all yeehaw America.
That's the way he's leaned into things. Yeah.
Yeah, and ICP is like, well, no, we welcome everybody in. I want to know if just out of pure Detroit pride and loyalty,
If they ride together.
I want to see like a Bob Seger. I feel like I see the allegiance being ICP Seger and then Nugent Kid Rock.
I could see that. And who else is? Where was Bad Company from? I feel like they were from Detroit.
I thought they were from England.
Like what? Who gives a shit?
Mike, where's Bad Company from?
Bad Company is from England. English rock supergroup.
Well,
but you got here's all your Detroit: Smokey Robinson, White Stripes,
Okay.
Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin, Big Sean,
Motown.
The Temptations,
I'm
Jackie
skipping
Wilson.
Motown.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. Motown. Let's also look at the city that gave us the Insane Clown
Fuku.
Posse.
that's fuck off.
Fukuf?
Yeah, or it might be fuck off. Yeah.
Iggy Pop, Alice Cooper.
Ziggy Pop.
Ziggy
is an
Pop.
Iggy Pop fan that loves Zug Island.
Yeah. That.
Zigolos.
We're good.
Juggalos that are big fans of the comic strip Ziggy. He hated being at work. Juggalos don't like working.
I think we're onto something here. They're onto something. We're we're riding their coattails a bit. But
Yeah.
I love that. I gotta find. Hold on. I gotta get out of this glossary for a second.
Yeah, you are stuck in there.
Yeah, I'm very much in it. The ACLU filed the lawsuit on the band's behalf in a statement announcing that Michael J. Steinberg, ACLU of Michigan legal director, said the Juggalos are fighting for the basic American right to freely express who they are, to gather and to share their appreciation of music, and to discuss issues that are important to them without fear of being unfairly targeted and harassed by the police. Branding hundreds of thousands of music fans as gang members based on the acts of a few individuals defies logic and violates our most cherished of constitutional rights. Which you could apply that to a lot of different groups of people that have had that happen to them. Yeah, unfairly and unjustly.
Anything, like if you thought you were looking at it like a gimmick, they wrote it out and now have earned a level of respect within the music community, and the fact that their fans have stuck it out. Like Kiss Army never had to go up against the FBI.
That's true.
Because the Kiss Army
is consumer.
I'm not scared.
They're consumers too. Yeah,
that is a pure.
That's a money making empire.
Kiss should just be called fucking Nestle at this point. Like they're
a brand amongst
music is just a small
they are
part.
The Disney of music.
Yeah, the GE family of Kiss products. Yeah.
Yeah, so the ACLU stuck up for them.
This is more like they're still about the music. They're not about like it. It does seem like it's surpassed the idea of a gimmick.
Yeah, I think so.
And they rode through people making fun of them. Their fan base rode through people making fun of them because they've been around for 20-some years.
Probably
started in the 90s.
Maybe, yeah. So almost 30, maybe 30.
Yeah, maybe 30 years. Now, I don't know if there's like mom and dad, like, oh, we should bring our 10-month-old to the gathering of the Juggalos. I'm sure maybe they leave that behind.
I would imagine so. Maybe, but you want your children to have your principles.
But how much? But
like,
okay,
I don't like.
But think about people have sexual fetishes, and you can't kink shame. You don't do any of that anymore. There's probably normal people that you meet that are just like, we're also juggalos. We don't present as juggalos.
Yeah.
But when the concert happens, we're gonna do it.
Why are you always gone this weekend of the year?
Yeah. Just don't. Or they're just like, oh, I go to the gathering.
Yeah. Yeah,
like people I bet there's more people.
It's a shame people have to feel private about it when they're not doing something wrong.
Or just don't. They don't. I'm not going to wear the Jenkos and a chain like a
face paint or whatever,
a bike chain necklace and dress like a clown. But I'm still going to go have a great time at this concert. They book wild acts at the gathering.
It's insane.
Yeah, they book I'm like this is like it's not bad. It's not a bad festival. You get a lineup. Like,
Mike, can you see if there's a lineup out for this year? This is what I want to get to this point of making everything they get made fun of for. Artists that are like beloved and cherished by everyone do the face paint thing. People making fun of people for that is like that's got to go. Like that's not a valuable argument.
Face painting is a clown thing. Kiss has been doing that shit from the 70s.
Alice
and now
Cooper.
It's like, Alice Cooper.
Every fucking pop star does something.
Gathering, they're all just filthy, rolling around the mud. I'm sorry, fucking Woodstock, maybe?
Yeah. 94, where people like loved when Green Day threw mud at everybody.
Or 69 at the original one, when they just trashed that field and did all that stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say appropriating culture, because they're not, because I think they do have hip hop, like black and white fans, like
and they also races. They're not stealing. They're fans of it. They're not pulling an Elvis.
It's the opposite of Coachella, where it's like this is truly body positive, and everybody I think.
But everybody at Coachella is thin.
I just know Coachella just looks like a place to take pictures. And then maybe there's music.
Yeah, but I love that these people are doing the same thing influencers are doing at Coachella. And they're having so much more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not trying to wear like a skirt that's see-through with their ass. Or if they are, they're like, yeah, I'm doing it. And by the way, I'm not being modest about it. Like,
I would have a harder time defending the Electric Daisy Carnival than I would the gathering of the Juggalos.
I don't even know what the Electric Daisy Carnival is.
It's like EDM music.
Ugh,
and I'm like, I want to meet a sober EDM fan. Because I don't believe they exist.
I think you're right.
I don't like. I'm like sober. Nothing. You are just totally sober, and you're just sitting there like, yeah, I can't wait to be here for 6 hours.
Dancing.
Yeah, or not. Even what if you're not? What if you're just like, nope, that's it. Waiting for the drop. Not a bit of drugs in your system. I don't think they exist. 971-259-8302. If you are a sober EDM fan, I would love to hear from you.
That'd be nice. Yeah. All right. Mike,
Do you want to
did
hear the
find
lineup? So obviously, Insane Clown Posse,
Yeah.
City Morgue.
Good name.
Yeah. If
Good name.
that band was from Richmond, I'd be like, I bet they kick ass.
We go
You know,
to
like,
we go to Fest in Gainesville and see like the butt crumbles and like
City Morgue is an American hip hop group from New York. This dude looks raw as fuck.
yeah, they're real.
And then Ouija Mac and Kung Fu Vampire are the only announced acts at the moment.
Fuck yeah. Let's get a full
July
preview.
5th through 9th, 2023. It's happening.
What's last year's lineup? I want to see because they have
Do you have a
big
past year?
big acts do it.
Yeah,
So
they
it looks
definitely have
like-
their world
Yeah.
like on main billing stuff, but yeah.
The last thing I can find, ICP, Babytron, Big Hoodoo, Cybertronic Spree, Dana Denta, Egyptian Lover, Fat Nick, KRS-One, there you go, Large Professor, Mike E. Clark, Mushroom Head,
Mushroom Head.
Odd Squad,
Wow.
Onyx,
On it.
Sir Mix-a-Lot, Slick Rick, Steel Panther, The Executioners.
Steel Panther.
That's the
Like comical glam. rock
the
band.
Wedding
Yeah.
Crasher
Same
band.
thing. They dress up in makeup, silly costumes, and
Yeah.
they go
Yeah,
up and sing songs.
Except Steel Panther's insincere. Like
Yeah.
honestly, if I wouldn't know, I look at the lineup for Lollapalooza and I know more people on the Gathering of the Juggalo than I do Lollapalooza this day. Lollapalooza has not looked interesting to me in probably 20 years. But it's not for me. Hey, it's
Yeah.
but I'm like, oh, this looks like the coolest music that for me it doesn't. I can't see like sitting in a field in the sun to hear music that people play in the background of Chipotle.
Yeah.
Like maybe like Tame Impala, but whatever like the stepped on version of Tame Impala, like, but it's not my thing. I think I would rather see KRS-One and weird 300-pound. I shouldn't say weird 300-pound strippers in clown makeup.
I also
And I
like
would
the
wanna
people
see
watching
that.
is going to be awesome. And
Yeah,
it won't be. Here's the thing: if I went to the Gathering of the Juggalos and I went to Coachella, everybody knew I met at Coachella. I would be like, "Well, I've met this kind of person before."
yeah.
At the Gathering, probably not.
I heard somebody was talking about Gallagher did the Gathering of the Juggalos.
R.I.P..
It actually started. It actually started. People were like, "Oh shit, Gallagher!" And it's like, finally, the artist is flinging food at the crowd instead of the other way around. But then he did veer into his Gallagher 2.0 material.
Oh,
and I
whoa.
guess I forget who was telling me like, yeah, I got real quiet in that tent. We should do Gallagher.
Yeah, it got real quiet. in the tent.
Yeah.
Should we switch over to calls already? I feel like we're gonna have a rich call.
we should go to calls. Let's
Yeah.
take some calls.
We'll be right back. Whoop whoop, family.
We're back. We're taking calls. I feel like we're gonna get a lot of love, a lot of family love on this one.
It's our crowd, buddy.
Hi. So I worked at this venue for years, and we did a show with ICP back in 2015, and it was easily the worst show I've ever done in my life. We advanced all the details of what like they could and could not do in the venue, and it's like once they got there, all of it went out the window as if they'd never heard of any of it, and it was a disaster. The worst was that they take their like 2-liter bottles of Faygo, and they use diet because it's less sticky than regular, as if that helped at all. And then they'd like put their thumb over the top and shake it.
Yeah.
So the pressure builds up. And then when they let go of it, the bottles would launch through the air like a rocket. And like they'd hit the ceiling. They were flying up into the balcony. It's kind of amazing that nobody got hit because that would have seriously injured somebody. yeah, it was awful. And like no one showed up to the venue. It wasn't a good show. And I got hit by a truck on my bike a few days earlier, and it was like an 18-hour day. So that was literal hell.
All right, we need to.
I'm pretty sure that's my friend.
We need to separate the getting hit by the truck part. I don't think that's.
All right, yeah.
The Hatchet Clan's fault.
I can imagine just as being the guy who's got to like clean up the Bowery Ballroom or something after.
But who's booking Insane Clown Posse and then saying you can't launch Faygo bottles? Hey, Gene Simmons, you can't dribble blood out of your mouth.
Yeah. Well, I guess she does say like, this is the list we told them they couldn't do, and then they just acted like they hadn't heard of it. You know, like, you know what I mean?
Don't
like,
book if you know Insane Clown Posse, you don't book them with stipulations.
I think, that's probably a good way to go into it, but I also think if they agree to something, and then for them to just be like, what do you mean we can't?
Who agree? Like a tour manager?
Yeah, I'm just saying,
What if they paid for the cost? All right, well, I thought we were going to get love on
I mean, that's just one, though. We got, but also, it is hilarious, all of the things she said.
I like they committed to launching the Faygo bottles, even with not a lot of people there.
Yeah, I like that, too. Like
And I'm surprised.
With small but mighty energy.
Yeah, we're talking about like family and everything. They had a bad show. I thought family didn't show up.
Maybe.
Wow.
I hope the shine's not wearing off of our buddies.
All right. Makeup's not dripping. There's the next call.
Hey, I'm calling about ICP.
All right.
They were my absolute favorite band as a teen and young adult. I even have a tattoo of a hatchet man on the back of my neck.
Yeah, you did.
I don't listen to them anymore now that I'm in my 30s, but I don't regret the tattoo at all. I never missed a concert for years. I'm a small woman. I'm only 5'1". But even as a teen, I never felt like I was in danger at any of those concerts. So I felt welcoming for everyone that enjoyed the music. I couldn't tell you how many times I've been close to the mosh pit, too close to a mosh pit, and had a big dude nearby just looking out for me and my friends to make sure we didn't get hurt, or people in general helping me push through the crowd to get to the front so I can see. There's nothing like being up front at an ICP show and being soaked in Faygo by the end of the night. I know there are juggalos that give ICP fans a bad public image, but I never saw that side. Just like-minded people trying to have a great time at a concert. I know that sounded very scripted. I'm nervous, so I just had to write it all down so it didn't sound like an idiot on one of my favorite podcasts. Thanks. Bye.
You're awesome.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
That was the vibe I had going to all ages shows when I was, a teen. Was like, it wasn't there to beat the shit. People were moshing, but if there was any sign of somebody getting hurt or something, you picked them up, you took care of them.
Yeah.
Shit's going to happen with them, but that's the same vibe. So that's
like a bigger guy's going to run into somebody small sometimes in a mosh pit or whatever. Like, but you get them, you don't try to hurt them.
No.
Yeah.
I see there's like the hardcore's back now and dudes are just spin kicking. I'm like, oh, everybody's trying to get fucked up with this. But that's what I thought we were going to get more of. Well, you should say the Faygo thing to the first caller.
I like that she wrote it all down.
Yeah. You don't trust me. We don't do that for the show. You don't have to be nervous.
Yeah.
But
also her saying like, I can't tell you how many times I've been there and a big guy's been watching out for me and my friends.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, the enjoying being covered in Faygo.
So fun.
We should have looked up where the Faygo. This is going to be a two-parter.
Okay. Yeah. I think
I want to know the history of like what if you bring, what if you don't bring Faygo and you bring, some other
Jolt Cola or something?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a bad move.
I
do wonder what
that's when they think you're the FBI. Like when they tried to infiltrate,
what's up, narc?
Yeah,
what's
like
up, pig?
When in Chicago in the '60s, they tried to infiltrate. Like, look at their shoes. You could tell they're feds from the shoes.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry, I just have grape knee high. Fucking kick the shit out of him.
It's a Fanta.
Yeah, he's got a Fanta. Cut his throat.
Take him out back, Bill. Let's get the next one. How many calls do we have? 9,000?
We're going to do this.
Hey, Kyle, Shane, and Shardog on the ones and twos. This is Julian from Connecticut calling about Insane Clown Posse. Never listened to them, but their fans look like they're having fun. They look like they're having fun without any shame. You could argue that maybe they should have some shame, but they're just having fun. I don't think that they hurt anybody other than themselves and the others around them. But, this is coming from a guy who's Midwest white trash and has cousins that have Hatchet Man tattoos. So, sure, whatever. They're harmless. Just let them. There's really little difference between that and, like, LARPing, in my opinion. You're basically kind of cosplaying, being this whole thing, but they're harmless. Let them have fun.
Okay. You seem sad with yourself, but
let them have fun. Again, like, yeah.
I think it's less LARPing. I think it's more of like, oh, there's like. Again, I go back to the same though. You got a mohawk and a fucking crass tattoo.
Yeah.
Why is that
any better or worse?
Why does it have more cred or less cred? Yeah, then.
Yeah, I mean, people hate the music, and I can't act like I love it.
You should listen to some of the music.
Send me a song, buddy.
We'll listen to it after this.
If
we don't have
if you're a listener,
rights.
if you're a listener and you're a legitimate ICP fan, you send me 3 to 5 songs on my Instagram. Yeah,
I'll share.
I want to hear from the people. I want to hear from the juggalos themselves.
Fuck you. That's how one of them starts. And I didn't know that. And I just heard it for the first time. I was like, on board.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Yes. And I'm like, you got me.
It's catchy.
You got me.
Quite a hook.
It's like the beginning of Sweet Child of Mine to me these days.
God damn it. Let's hear the next fucking caller, please.
Hi, guys. My name's Ralph. I was a former juggalo. In my teenage years, it was like a group of quote-unquote family, and it helped all of us kind of rejects and pariahs come together and have a thing that was like our own. And then, in my later years, I realized the cultish mentality and how they would aim at disparaged youth and essentially like, hey, you're alone, your family doesn't like you, come here, you're family, we're all together. It turns into the Fast and the Furious world, apparently.
Not a bad thing.
It's very manipulative. It will make you be isolated if you're like weak, I guess, which I'm not trying to say like is like it's like they are you know what I'm saying. Your fucking brain isn't working the best and you're down, and then there's this outlet that could possibly help you, but it's not for you. It's very merchandise oriented. Release the same CD 5 times, release the same album with different covers, release different variations of a hoodie that costs like $90 or whatever. And it's like just not good. Musically, not the best. Stage show, awesome. I always enjoyed the concerts. They were the best part. And like absolute insanity. But growing up now, being 20 years past that in my life, it's very obvious what it was. It was like a marketing scheme for kids with issues. And at the time, it helped me. But also, I look back, and I was a very trashy person who had a very segregated sense of music because I only wanted to listen to ICP-related bullshit. It's fucking horrible.
Okay.
This is...
Okay.
A candid...
Good call, yeah.
Yeah. A perspective we haven't gotten yet. Yeah.
I didn't realize they were as merch heavy.
Yeah. I don't care really about the merch thing. The marginalized,
appealing to marginalized youth to sell a merch. I'm like, welcome to rock and roll.
Yeah.
That's been
around for, but I get like, I think I see where he's coming from. It could be advantageous.
Yeah. Well, it does. You will want to buy more stuff if you think like as a family member, you need to identify. And I didn't think about the manipulation part. I didn't know it was merch heavy. I just didn't see as many. I wasn't picking up where it's the shirts and this and that. Every time I'm like, that's Juggalo stuff. It's like a graphics bong clown. Like scary clowns are on a lot of things.
A lot of different shit, and that's been around for.
Yeah.
I'll say that I think very much we're gonna have to do some more on this, but I appreciate that his perspective of about like it could like them like targeting marginal. I don't know if targeting is the right way, but like,
Yeah.
it can be isolate. Like you might have found a new group of people, but it can be isolating in and of itself. Also, the Fago, like him being like, it's still an awesome show, even.
The live, yeah, that's where you meet. That's where you're with the rest of the family.
Yeah.
That's where everybody's like, I mean, that's how I felt going to shows. Like, oh, I only see this guy every month at this show. And
Yeah.
but it was less, it wasn't as merch heavy. I could see it being, like, I understand, like, here's this version. Oh, here's this.
This is the
cover.
criticism. Yeah.
Like, be the collector thing. I don't know if, I mean, I don't know if like it doesn't.
But, like, it
watching
doesn't-
the videos of the gathering, it doesn't seem like they're trying to keep these $90 hoodies pristine.
Let's do one more, and then like, well, obviously we've turned this into a two-parter, like, because we get I think we need to dive a little deeper.
We'll go music heavy on the next one.
Yeah, we'll dive a little deeper into the research for the next one.
All right. All right.
Mike, can you give us one more and a whoop whoop?
Hey, Shane and Kyle. I'm calling about the Insane Clown Posse and Juggalos. I am a huge fan of their existence, maybe not so much their music.
Oh.
I was lucky enough in 2019, my band played The Gathering of the Juggalos.
Plug it.
I drunkenly sent them a joke message asking if my dumb anarchist punk band could play, and 3 months later, I'm on my way to see Jawbreaker, and I get a call from Violent J's brother. We had to go through with it just because the opportunity was there, and we drove 16 hours to the middle of nowhere, Indiana. We got a huge fan base from the Juggalos. We had just such an excellent experience at the Gathering of the Juggalos. My mind was completely changed by them. I played a great set, got to see Bone Thugs and Harmony and Gilbert Godfrey on the same stage, and I can't think of any other music festival where that would happen. So, yeah, I'm down with the clown till I'm dead in the ground. Whoop, whoop.
I love it.
Man,
I don't think we could have got a better closing call than that.
You got to tell us your band. You should have plugged it.
Yeah, well, we're going to do it. The good thing is now we're doing this two-parter.
Yeah.
That was...
That is a great story.
Fucking, yeah. Then I got to see Bone Thugs and Harmony and Gilbert Godfrey on the same stage.
The Crossroads.
Ah! Whoop, whoop.
That's a beautiful story.
I love it. I don't hate any of this.
Thank you for the call, brother.
Yeah,
tell us the name of your band. So
And when we
get it out
post this
there.
episode, obviously it'll be a back-to-back two-parter.
Not going to get as many fans as they did from The Gathering, but we'll get you up there.
Yeah, get a few. I love that you did it. And
All right,
man.
that was beautiful.
It was.
Thanks, everybody. Hey, thanks, everybody. Hey, thanks, everybody. I don't know which camera to look at. They're out in the darkness. Hey, that one.
Thanks, everyone. He's Kyle Kinane. I'm Shane Torres. We're both on the internet. Follow us on all the things. Kyle's got a new special out, Shocks and Struts on YouTube. I'm Shane Torres. I got a new special coming out soon. Hopefully it'll be somewhere.
It's called Down with the Clown.
It's not called
Till
that.
he's dead and brown.
Anything else?
That's what the guy said. That's what you say when you're with the cool
What?
ICP.
I missed that. What did he say?
Yeah, he said, I'm down with the clown till I'm dead and brown.
Oh.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Our thanks to Mike, our guest producer, and Studio 660. And our thanks to Charlene, as always. And a thanks to all the family out there and you little kittens. Our kittens are like they're juggies.
Yeah, meow, whoop, whoop.
Meow, whoop, meow, meow. Meow, whoop.
Your face did a thing I didn't like when you did that.
Come on.
It was upsetting.
Meow, whoop, meow, whoop. Meow Whoop
It's
is
over.
that. Meow Whoop is an art installation in Las Vegas.
That's what I was going to say.
All right. We love you guys. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and subscribe to this podcast on whatever you're listening to
Did
it on.
you do this, or is that the
I don't know
Atlanta
what's
Braves?
That's the Atlanta Braves.
I was doing the hatchet.
Oh.
All right, fuck it.
Yeah, but you get it, guys. Follow us on the shit. Share the episodes. Tell your friends. We had fun. We love you guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks for being here, Mike. Bye-bye.